Got to go. Honestly, I couldn't believe it. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. I'm Miss Belinda Scandal.
And I'm Mr. Mark Llewellyn.
We've got a lovely show lined up.
Haven't we just?
Really, truly
It
have.
is absolutely packed this week.
It really, really is, Pat.
Yes.
On the show today, just so you know, we are going to be doing something very, very special. In fact, we are looking at a neurodivergent disco experience.
Ooh,
I
looking
know.
forward to that.
We've also got a new take on exactly what Dracula is all about as well.
Oh, that'll put the willies up, yeah?
Well, it will, won't it? Yes, indeed.
Yes.
How's your week been?
It's been jam-packed, it really has.
Has it? Right. What have you
Yes.
what have you been up to?
Well, as you know, my book came out last week.
Did it? How's it doing?
Oh, it's doing very... Shall we... I just happen to have a copy here.
Well, why not?
Yes, it's doing very well. Had
Right.
some lovely reviews. It's been in all the national papers this week.
Has it?
Yes, it has.
Why? For what reason?
Because of piece about Julie Goodyear.
Right.
And they released a new picture. Husband Scott put a new picture out,
Yes.
which is lovely.
And I suppose everybody wants to know, how is she doing?
Yeah, well, she's actually enjoying life. And as I said in the interview, still go and see her, normally a couple of times a week.
Yeah.
And she does like a piece of chocolate cake, you know.
Just share the chocolate.
Yes, I always take a chocolate
Do
cake.
you know what you can't get anymore?
What?
Black Forest Gateau.
Well, you were saying that the other week and you still can't find any.
No, can't find any at all. And I'm obsessed with it.
You know where we need to go and do a special show?
Where's that?
The Black Forest.
Well, let's get there.
Yes.
Is it near?
I don't know where it is.
Could you imagine if we went all that way and they didn't do Gateau though?
Well, it's the other side of Bolton. We could give it a go.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, it's near.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realise it was near. That's very exciting.
In Germany, you know. Anyway, that's that. And of course, the book is also coming out in audio form, isn't it?
It is.
Yes. So
We're-
you've been.
I've had to listen to it.
You have.
I've read it and now I'm having to listen to it.
Yeah. Did you enjoy listening to
I
it?
do like listening to it. I have to
Yes,
say it was quite a weird experience. I think I've said this story about 50 times. I don't know. I've told everybody who'll listen. It's quite the weird experience
It is.
because I was listening in the studio
Yes.
to you recording it
You were.
and I was transfixed. I was quite dazed.
I thought you were nodding off.
No, I was dazed.
Oh, you were dazed.
I was dazed.
Yes.
Yes.
And I had to talk for 4 hours non-stop.
You wrote it. You wrote it.
Anyway, we're getting there. Another session and it should be done.
But
Should
yeah,
be out
lovely.
soon.
It's doing well though, and it is a good book.
It is, yes,
It
and
is a
raising
good
lots of money for charity. And we're both very heavily involved in at this time of year.
Well, we
particularly
are.
with
You do a lot for
charities.
charity, don't you?
I do a lot.
And I got asked the other week, what do I
Yes.
do for charity?
And what do you do for charity?
I'm
do you
here.
share?
I'm here.
Well, of course
No,
we do.
The
Yes.
charities that I fully get behind,
Yes.
there's two bases. The Natalie Kate Moss Trust. 'cause
Yes.
I think
yes.
what they're doing is not appreciated enough.
No.
It really isn't.
Yeah.
Because what they've got there is it's all about your blood pressure and knowing your blood pressure and being
Yes.
aware of it, which is fantastic.
It's very important to have your blood pressure taken and tested, isn't it?
Yes.
Mm.
Do you have it done regularly?
I've got to confess, I'm giving out advice now that I don't take myself.
Right, you see, but it's easy to do these days
Is it?
because you can just buy a little contraption for at home.
Right, perhaps we should have one here.
Well, should we
And
get
then
one?
we could both be wired up.
I went to my mother's the other week, she's got one on a side table. now.
Oh, borrow that.
It's great fun.
Yeah.
It grabs your arm.
Oh, yes, I
Yeah.
know.
It actually concertinas my bingo wings.
Oh, perhaps you should wear two permanently.
Yes, mate. And the other
Maybe
one is,
three.
of course, the LGBT Foundation.
Yes.
Because they keep it simple. They keep it simple.
Mhm.
There's no babble with them. They know what they're aiming at. They know what they're doing. They know what they're all about. What charities are you fully involved in?
Well, Willowwood Hospice, as you
Lieutenant,
know.
I forgot to curtsy today, didn't I? Sorry, I do apologise.
Willowwood Hospice, as you know,
Yes.
is one that I'm involved in, and the British Musical Society.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and a thing called Your Manchester, which
Okay.
which you might be involved in as well.
I kind of forgot
Which-
to mention
Well,
that.
I know you did, which is a CIC, isn't it?
Because we are now a
Community-
PIC, aren't we?
Yes, which is
Yes.
a community what is
Interest
it?
company.
Interest company.
Yes.
And that's because the crew behind the cameras,
Yes.
and we just saw at the top of the show there, our director,
Yeah.
Mr. Josh,
Yes.
and he was pretending to be nice. Normally he hits us and tells us
He
off.
does. He know he beats us up, doesn't
He does. We do quite like it, to be fair. And these are people who are on placement with us.
Yes.
And
well, you say placement. We don't let them go afterwards, do we? Really?
But sometimes we beg them not to, but they do.
Yes.
They leave home, and then we have to watch them go out into the world. So yes, so we're up to our necks in charitable work.
And there is another charity that's celebrating something quite special over the next few weeks. They're celebrating a very big milestone birthday. They are, believe it or not, a charity. That is, of course, the Lowry.
Oh yes, the Lowry. And I can remember because my partner Roy did a piece for ITV about when they were building the Lowry to bring in charitable donations.
Right.
And we were, before they put the wall in between the two theatres, and we were able to go down there and stand with a foot on each stage. So I can say I've appeared in both theatres at the same time.
Well, I can go back about 9 months before it was even considered to be probably even starting building. It was a building site. It was muddy. And we did a few shows with David Johnson.
Yes.
A wonderful director, acting teacher to everybody.
Fantastic, wasn't it?
And he was there, and I did 4 parts in a play called Our Day Out.
Oh, Willie Russell.
And the only one I can remember is Leslie the Lollipop Man.
Right, yeah.
I was Leslie the Lollipop Man.
Were you?
Yeah. I don't know why I got cast in all these roles where you kind of play many a part.
You're versatile. And
that's the first time I've been called that in a while, so thank you for that. Well, Aries has been very busy doing something very, very special about the Lowry. Check this out. Play the VT then.
Between 1990 to 1901, a design competition for the project was won by architects James Stirling and Michael Wilfred, though Stirling passed away in 1992 before the construction for the venue began. £21 million worth of funding was provided by the National Lottery to build the venue. Then in 2000, it was officially opened by our late Queen Elizabeth II. So the Lowry is named after Lawrence Stephen Lowry, an artist who spent a lot of his life in Salford. The Salford Museum and Art Gallery, which opened in the 1800s, had been a collector of his work for many years. Then, when the Lowry opened, an archive of photographs, press cuttings and exhibition catalogues, as well as 400 individual pieces of his art, were transferred to the venue, giving us the extremely popular exhibition we now see today. Another huge reason why the Lowry has soared in popularity throughout the years is its never-ending showcase of performing arts. With its 2 theatres and a drama studio, the Lyric Theatre has 1,730 seats, while the Quays has 466. Both theatres host a variety of touring plays, comedy and musical events. The Lyric Theatre has the largest stage in the UK, outside London's West End. It was used to record the first and only televised recording of the radio show I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue. And in 2011 it hosted the Royal Variety Performance. And how do people get to perform for that? They audition for one of the biggest shows, Britain's Got Talent. And some of the auditions are filmed here at the theatre today. Another way the Lowry celebrates the arts is the Week 53 Festival, which it hosts every 2 years. For a whole week, the venue is taken over by innovative artistic work and conventions. Since the festival's launch in 2016, influential voices from comedians, broadcasters to singers have been able to showcase their talent and be a part of the Lowry's mission to push the boundaries of the arts. So with endless performances and visual artwork and voices, it's clear to see how the Lowry has been able to showcase the city of Salford and make people see it in a different light, making it more of an iconic and historic city in the Greater Manchester region.
Well, wasn't that wonderful?
Absolutely marvellous.
The story of the Lowry.
Yes.
Of course, named after?
Yes, Lawrence Stephen Lowry.
Fabulous guy.
Painter.
Painter.
Yes.
Eh?
Yes.
Turn his hand to anything.
Oh, he did my kitchen ceiling.
Did he indeed?
Well, I believe so.
Listen, the other week I had the privilege of speaking to an actor that's taking part in a show that's currently on, as we speak now, at the Octagon in Bolton. And it's the story, or a different interpretation of a story about Dracula.
Oh, really?
Really, really good. Check this out. Right, then, joining us now is Killian McArdle. Welcome to the show, Killian. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you so much for having me.
Dracula, the proper truth. Tell us what is going on. What is the show all about?
Okay, so the show is set years after Bram Stoker has released his novel, and the real life Van Helsing is annoyed because he believes that Bram Stoker's been telling it wrong. So it's time for his story to be told instead, the truth.
Oh. And how does his story vary to the one that we all are aware of?
Well, I don't want to ruin the ending, but in Bram Stoker's Dracula, the idea is they do manage to get rid of Dracula and solve everything, but that isn't the truth or the reality that Van Helsing was part of. So wants to make sure that the audience are warned about the real dangers that they are facing.
Oh, I'm excited. Is it still, gothic and very Dracula-esque, though? Is that what we're keeping in this version?
Yeah, so obviously, like, the show doesn't go right for Van, but it is still very much set in that Victorian period, and it is still a lot of homages to the original text and earlier films as well that portray Dracula in a certain way. So we do try and keep true to the style and that Gothic style, like you said. Yeah.
And what are we going to see on stage then? How has this so far come together, and what's kind of visually what we're going to be seeing?
You're going to see a lot of sweat, I'd say, first and foremost. The show doesn't stop moving. We've just done a bit of a run now, and I had to change clothes. Like, if I'd have come on wearing what I was wearing, it would have been dripping wet. It is a lot of farce, a lot of fun, a lot of craziness, a little bit of magic, a little bit of horror, but hopefully, more importantly, a lot of laughs.
That's what we like, isn't it? Now, this has been done at one of my favourite theatres, I do believe. Tell everybody where it's at and when it's on.
It is from the 11th of June to the 29th of June at the Bolton Octagon.
It's a beautiful theatre, isn't it? How are you finding it being in there?
It's a fantastic theatre. I mean, I've been here before recently with another show, and honestly, the welcome that both the theatre and the town of Bolton gave me was just amazing. I couldn't ask for any more. It's such a lovely, lovely venue.
It is a gorgeous theatre. What part are you playing within this show then? What do we get to see you doing?
So, with the premise of the show, Van Helsing is playing Van Helsing, and he has hired 3 actors to play all the other roles. So I am one of the actors. The actors themselves aren't the brightest bulbs, as it were. So the actor that I am playing plays the roles of Jonathan Harker, Renfield, and Lucy Westenra.
Oh,
yes.
The first two was expecting. The last one, perhaps not so much. So how are you finding it playing different characters within this whilst playing a different character?
It's phenomenal. It's great because there's so many layers to play with. You know, you've got the show within the show, the actors when they think they're doing a good job, the actors when they get to act and really, find their true actor nature, and then the actors when it all comes crumbling down. It's so many fun layers to play with.
That is, of course, Dracula, the Bloody Truth, which is going to be at the Octagon Theatre from the 11th to the 29th of June. Get your tickets now, everybody. Sounds like it's going to be fun. For now, though, Killian McArdle, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, doesn't that look marvellous? And what can we say to him except thanks for the memory? Oh,
fantastic,
isn't it? Summer season is dead, so I've got to work here.
Yes, indeed. I'll tell you what, you're speaking about nights out. There's a gentleman that's putting a whole new kind of night out together, because a lot of us take nights out for just granted. We turn up to them, we do them.
Yeah.
But there is one gentleman called Byron, and he's doing a very special night for the Neurodivergent amongst us. Check this out. Well, we all appreciate a good night out, but some of us may find it slightly more difficult than others. Joining us now, please welcome the very lovely Byron. Hello, how are you?
I'm very well, thanks, Belinda. How are you?
I'm very good. You have managed to touch on something that I think is so appropriate for so many people. Tell us, first of all, how you came to find that this was a necessity for some people.
So I've got multiple diagnoses. I've got a diagnosis of autism. I've got a diagnosis of ADHD. I've got a diagnosis of complex. I've been collecting diagnoses since the 90s, like Pokemon. And I've found throughout the years, because I'm cracking on a bit. I'm 49, and I was part of that burgeoning rave scene, throwing my hands in the air in the Northwest in the early 90s, and I had a sort of love-hate relationship with it. I struggled in those spaces spaces massively. I later got my diagnoses and found out why that was. And as the years have gone by, I just really want to make spaces that are kinder to people who have sensitivities like my own, which are anxiety-based sensitivities or sensitivities around sensorial stuff, generally autistic-related things.
Amazing. So, what have you managed to come up with then to bring that night together?
Well, there's a lot of stuff. There's loads of stuff. I've done about 3 years of research. Some of it is with people with lived experience. Some of it is with academics. But I prefer listening to people who've lived the life as an autistic person or as a person with anxiety disorders, and we've got loads of stuff. The first thing we do is orientation stuff. So we give loads and loads of information about our night before they're actually there. You can turn up early and have a little tour of the video if you're a little uncomfortable a little tour of the venue. Sorry, if you're in uncomfortable in new spaces, we do a little video too, so you can watch it, and we give a lot of information about what to expect, where to expect it. And then once you're in, all of the front of house staff and the security are trained, briefed by our amazing wellbeing officer, who will tell them all about what an autistic meltdown is, how to react to certain behaviours. We allow stimming, and we encourage people to come as they are. You know, you can wear a ball gown or EastEnders cosplay or your pajamas. We don't care. Just come and have a lovely time. You can come alone or in groups. And we do physical warm-ups for anybody who wants that. Personally, I cringe those things make me cringe. I can't do them, but for some people they're really essential. So we do physical warm-ups, but they're not compulsory. And then we have like a variety of experiences there. We have like structured interaction through gaming and crafts. And we have just traditional noisy throw your hands in the air club spaces, and then we have like silent disco with multiple genres, curated gaming spaces, and the vast majority of our team are neurodivergent, so we all know what it's like to cope with kind of live spaces. And we have wellbeing officers and wellbeing stewards. So if anybody's not feeling great, they can go to one of our quieter spaces, which we built to make kind of make them cozy and appealing, or a recovery room if you're really, a little bit overwhelmed.
It's fantastic. For now, though, thank you so much for your time, Byron. Fantastic. Looking forward to this one. We really, really are. Make sure you get your tickets at the Lowry. 31st of August. Tickets are available right now. See, the things you have to think about. What on earth are you wearing on your head?
It's our Your Manchester merchandise range.
Yes, we have got merchandise, everybody.
Yes.
Caps and...
I
was going to say hats, but a cap is a hat.
Cap and a hat and a cape and a...
Jumper.
And
a thimble.
Oh, everything anyone should want.
Love a thimble.
Yes, and it comes with 32 different ones, doesn't it? And a display case.
Oh, collector's edition.
You can collect a lot.
Very, very good.
And we've got all this because we are going to be doing a rather special show in August.
That's right, everybody. On the 25th of August, that's the Sunday of Manchester Pride, we'll be in Sackville Park from 3 till 6 in the afternoon.
Yes.
Going into the evening.
We will.
Into the evening, as we like to say.
We'll be there, won't we? And we've got some other special guests.
We have to say it. No, we can't say nothing, but it's going to be wonderful.
Yes.
It's going to be amazing, and it's going to be fantastic. Now, next week, that's another story altogether.
Oh, I'm not here.
No, you're not allowed to be here.
Not allowed to be here.
You're not, because you're a DL. You're a DL, and we're doing politics.
Yes, I've got to be neutral.
No, neutral.
Yes, I'm like Switzerland.
Are you?
Yes.
I like the smell of cheese. Yes, so next week we have got a whole host of fantastic people coming in to discuss politics as we get nearer and nearer to the election. So make sure you're tuning in for that.
Well, join Belinda next week for a very special edition of Your Manchester.